Hello students. In our today's class we will see the third basis of market segmentation, that is psychological basis, or which is also called as psychographic basis of market segmentation. So here consumers within same geography and demographic groups have different psychographic profiles. It refers to inner qualities of the individual customer. So the psychology of the consumers, it differs from one person to another. Okay, so under psychographic segmentation, groups of consumers are made according to the lifestyle and buying psychology of the customers. Okay, so here many businesses offer products based on the attitudes, beliefs and emotions of their target market. The desire for status, enhanced appearance and more money are examples for psychographic variables. So here this psychological basis, it is totally related to the mind of the customers. So how they are going to think. Suppose somebody owns a branded car, so their psychology is different. Okay, maybe some rich people have money, still they don't prefer car. Okay, why? Because it is their psychology. So the psychology of people differs from one person to another. So here under your psychology basis, you are going to divide the market on the basis of the emotions, on the basis of the activities of the customers. So there are factors that influence customers purchasing decisions. So under psychographic segmentation, elements like lifestyle, attitude, self concept, value system, these things form the base. So a person's pattern of interest, opinions and activities combine to represent his or her lifestyle. So first let's see social class. So you can group the customers on the basis of social class, that is each class have specific values, traditions and habits. Example, food and books. Now not everyone chooses to read the same books. Okay, it differs from class to class. So the high class people, they prefer some high type of high quality or high level of magazines. Okay, now middle class people, their reading preference is totally different. Okay, so it differs from one person to another. Okay, on the basis of social class you can bifurcate the market. Now for example, the social values differs from one religion to another. Okay, now let's take the color white. Okay, for Christianity, for Christian people, white is the color which symbolizes and which is used for marriage. Okay, but if we consider Hindu people, it is a sign of grief. See how it differs from one religion to another, that is social class. So here on the basis of the social class, you are going to divide your market. Then lifestyle. So what is this lifestyle? It is a total pattern of life. It can be defined as one's own way of living. So depending upon the lifestyle, you are going to divide your market. So your lifestyle differs from person to person again. Okay, in psychological whatever segmentation is there, here the psychology of the person differs from one person to another. Now my lifestyle is totally different from yours, your lifestyle is totally different from your friends. Okay, so it differs. Now for example, some might have a habit of waking up early in the morning and going to the gym, and then do their regular routine or then go to the office. There might be some people who might wake up late, they might go to the office and then at the night they might join the gym. So the lifestyle differs from one person to another. Now for example, if I want to start a gym business, so what I will do, if I want to attract both the people, okay, people of the both lifestyle, that is the ones who go early, ones who go to the gym early in the morning, as well as the one who are going to gym at the night. So if I want to capture both, I have to attract the people towards my gym. That is, if I want to attract them, I have to keep my gym open throughout the day. Okay, so that is what lifestyle. So on the basis of lifestyle of people, you can divide the total market. Okay, for example, your car, mobile, clothes, etc. Whatever clothes we wear, it differs from one personality to another personality. Okay, some might prefer costly branded clothes, some might prefer non-branded clothes, so it differs. Okay, next one, personality. Personality and lifestyle go hand in hand. It is determined by certain physical and mental features. So personality, nothing to explain over here, because we know personality we, whatever we wear, whatever the things we use, we always say it should match my personality. Or sometimes we say some colors does not match my personality. Or maybe some bikes, okay, suppose if there is a person who is very lean, okay, at that time bullet, he might say, or people might say that bullet doesn't suit your personality. So that is what, on the basis of personality you can segregate your market, that is you can group your your customers on the basis of their personality. So certain bikes are designed for the people with certain physique, or certain sunglasses are designed for the people. So as per your personality you can go for it, okay, it might be clothes or any other thing. On the basis of personality consumers purchase the goods. Okay, next one, buying motives. It refers to the purpose of buying the product. Buying motives may be durability, taste, safety, status, etc. So your consumer can be divided on the basis of buying motives. Okay, that is, what is the purpose of buying, why are you buying the goods of certain company? For durability, taste, safety purpose, or status purpose. Okay, now for example insurance. Okay, why do we go for insurance? We go for insurance for a safety purpose. Okay, that is, while paying the premium, obviously most of us don't like to pay the premium, but still we pay. Why? Because what is our motive, why are we purchasing the insurance? Because of our safety. Okay, now branded items. Now there is a psychological thing that when we wear branded items there is a kind of class. Okay, suppose if I have a iPhone, at that time people will consider what, see, she is having a iPhone, so the whatever the psychological thing is, that it will be totally different. Okay, so branded items, so what is the buying motives, why are you buying? Okay, now your clothes also, again the branded one, the non-branded one, what kind of clothes you are preferring? Okay, what is your motive behind your preferring? So on the basis of that you can divide the market. So as I've told you, those who are going for branded things, they usually, some might go for branded things because of quality, some might go behind branded things because of status. So it is their motive. On the basis of the psychology of the customers you can divide the consumers also. Okay, next comes your, finally the fourth one, behavioral basis for segmentation. Okay, this kind of basis is also called as consumer response segmentation or product feature based segmentation. Okay, so here the consumer can also be divided into certain segments on the basis of their knowledge, attitude, use, or response towards a product. Okay, so on the basis of their attitude, what is the attitude of the consumers, what is their belief, what is their response towards a particular product, on the basis of that you can divide the market. So you can divide under your behavioral segmentation here occasions. Okay, so occasions means what, it creates demand when market can associate the use of products with particular occasion. For example, greeting cards, clothes, and all. Now common example, let's take a common example. Suppose if there is Akshaya Tritiya, what happens? Most of Hindu brothers and sisters, they go to buy gold. Okay, why? On the basis of that occasion you are going to demand the product. Okay, and even during your Diwali times. Okay, you can observe during the Diwali times that there will be discount or there will be lots of offers on electronics during that time. Why? Because they know at that time the demand will be more and even the supply will be more. So there will be certain marketers who are going to focus only on particular occasions. Okay, now the ones who are making greeting cards, okay, what is their focus? Their focus is on special occasions. Say they make greeting cards on birthday, or maybe some certain brands are there which are for particular occasion only. Their clothing is reserved for particular occasion. So on the basis of that also you can divide your market. Then next comes your benefits. Okay, benefits means what, here the marketer focuses on benefits which consumers are expecting from the product. Okay, so under your benefit, the consumers, whatever, what is your focus, you are trying to know what the consumer is expecting. Okay, Now generally as consumers, if we are going to buy something, obviously we look for quality. If it is a good or if it is any kind of electronic, we seek service, safety, guarantee, warranty. Okay, so what are the benefits we are seeking? Let's take the example of your close up. Okay, close up versus Colgate versus Pepsodent. So each of these whatever toothpaste brands are over here, they have their different benefits. Now for example, if you want fresh breath, close up will say use us. Okay, Colgate will say if you want strong teeth, you prefer us. Pepsodent will say if you want to fight with the germs, you can prefer us. Okay, we can take some other examples also. Suppose if you prefer Sibaka, they say they have therapeutic benefits. If you go for Vico Vajradanti, they say they have neem and Ayurvedic benefit. So on the basis of the benefit required by the customers, the marketer is going to manufacture the product. Okay, now it is unto the customer what they are seeking. Okay, maybe some might prefer Colgate, some might prefer, those who want fresh breath, they might prefer close up, those who want their strong teeth, they can prefer Colgate. So whatever they want, on the basis of their demand or on the basis of their requirement, they can purchase the product. Then user status. Okay, on the basis of user status, you can segregate the consumers as non-users. Non-users are the ones who never use your product, who have never used the product of a particular company. Okay, ex users means what? Last they had purchased once but currently they are not using your product. Okay, potential users and first time users. Potential are the one who are willing to purchase, and first time users are the one who purchase your product for the first time. Next, on the basis of rate of use. Okay, so here for your user status, if you are not getting, let's take the example of salt. Okay, for salt, what happens? Will you go and find out the brand and all? No, you will just go to the retailer and say just give me Tata salt or any other company salt. Okay, so here what, these are regular users, the demand is more for your salt. Okay, if you are going to purchase soya chunks, okay, at that time you go and say give me soya chunks? No, you will specify, you will ask the retailer which brand soya chunks you are having. Okay, at that time you will choose from that. So here for your soya chunks, regular users are not there. Okay, but for your salt, there is a regular usage or there is a regular demand for that particular product. Next, rate of use. Okay, that is light users, more in number but purchase in smaller quantity. Medium users, a kind of balance between number of consumers and consumptions. Then comes heavy users, small in percentage but high percentage of consumers. So how they are using the product of the company. So there might be some consumers who purchase a lot. Okay, there might be some consumers who purchase in smaller quantities. There might be some consumers who are less in percentage but they might consume a lot. Okay, so on the basis of the rate of use also you can divide your consumers. Then loyalty or status. Okay, kindly make it as loyalty, it is a typing error over there, it is not loyal, it is loyalty. So on the basis of loyalty, you can divide your market into four different groups. First one is hardcore loyal. Okay, so these are the people who buy the same brand all the time. Okay, now for example, if you are going for shampoo, okay, hardcore loyal means what? You buy only L'Oreal Paris shampoo. Okay, you don't prefer any other brand, that is you won't go for a Dove, you won't go for Vatica and Pantene, etc, etc. You are loyal towards L'Oreal Paris only, you will buy only that product. Then comes soft or split loyal, who are loyal to more than one brand but specific in number. Okay, these people, they are loyal to more than one. Say this month you are going to purchase L'Oreal shampoo, next month you are going to purchase Pantene, next again you are going to purchase L'Oreal. So this is what split loyal. Okay, next one is shifting loyal, who keep on shifting from one brand to another. Okay, these kind of customers are the ones who change their brands. That is, for this month if you are using L'Oreal, next month you will use Pantene, then you will shift to Dove, then you will go for Vatica, then you will go for etc etc. Okay, or maybe you can go for soaps also. This month you are using one soap, next month you will use another soap, next week again you will be changing it. Okay, very frequently you change, you are not loyal to any brand, so you will be tasting different kinds of things. Okay, next, brand switchers. Brand switchers are the ones who show no loyalty to any brand. Okay, these are the ones who keep on switching the brand, they are not loyal to anybody. So it is left unto them, whichever brand they want. They won't be like, I have to purchase this brand. No, whichever they want, they are comfortable with that. That is, they keep on switching the brands from one brand to another. Okay, next one, awareness stage. So under your awareness stage, the consumers can be segmented as unaware customers. That is, these people don't know about your product. Okay, now if I say dairy milk tropical mango flavor, okay, now in this only we can segregate the market. See, when I said dairy milk tropical mango, most of you might be unaware. That is, you don't know about that product only. Then comes aware. Aware means what? Yes, we know it. Okay, then comes informed, interested, and intent to buy. So there are ones who are informative, no, they know about the brand. Some might be interested to buy that particular chocolate, and some might intend to buy that particular thing. Okay, so that is what awareness stage. Okay, so on the basis of awareness also, now there are certain products which the market is not aware at all. Okay, now if I say any brand, say M&M, okay, most of you might be aware. So there, now that doesn't mean whoever is listening to this particular, or whoever is watching this particular video are aware about M&M brand. So there, so that is what, on the basis of awareness, might be there is a product which is very good and we people are not aware about it because there is no marketing strategy. If I say now, for example, Forever India, okay, Forever India, it is a famous multinational, but still most of us are unaware about it. Why? Because we haven't seen any advertisement relating that particular product. Okay, so on the basis of awareness also you can divide your market. Then comes your attitude towards the product. That is, how the consumers are going to divide your sorry, how the consumers are going to react towards your product. Okay, so generally the attitude may be positive, sometimes it may be negative or indifferent. So positive attitude means what? The consumers are liking your product. Okay, so once when the consumers like, they will buy your product. Negative means what? They are never going to use your product again. Indifference, indifference neither here nor there. Okay, so if I use also, it is same for me. If I don't use also, it's same for me. Okay, they are like indifference. Okay, so that is about attitude towards the product. So on the basis of that also you can divide the consumer. So these are the four bases of market segmentation. Again, let me tell you, these are very important. You can expect it for 15 marks in your examination. Okay, so I hope these things are clear to you all. If you are not understanding anything, you are free to ask me. Thank you. Have a nice day.